Shalom, like to say, call on Milah, Yahweh Shem Ashab, Bashim Kakadash, the Bahamas of Apostle Elsewhere Millstone, Peace, I teach and hope for Allah. And this is our lesson going to be about how Shein, Temu, and Amazon are raising prices for U.S. customers. And we will all know, like if you was a pretty much a shopper who tend to get products from different sites, such as like sites that help with drop shipping, and I know Shein and Temu is one of them, and then you got AliExpress as another one. But now it's like when it's coming to Shein and Temu, for the most part, they're very infamous for having like different warehouse companies to sell their products for the low. And I know Amazon is usually a little bit more expensive to get products from them because of the whole, supply and demand thing, of course, and the fact that a lot of people, let's just say in the US, pretty much, they look for faster shipping, so that's the reason why they may use Amazon, because you get the shipping faster, whereas compared to Shein and Temu, where the shipping may probably take like 2 or 3 weeks, but now it seems like because of the whole tariff, this whole trade war that Trump is doing, this is what's affecting the U.S. consumers now. And it's not too different than what he did when he was in presidency the last time, because he also did some trade war that hurt, U.S. consumers, and, it took a toll on the steel factory jobs and things of that nature. But this time I feel like he's gonna do a lot worse. Even the Simpsons said that he, caused the economic, recession. And that was one of the predictions. So who knows what he's finna do in this presidential term that he has. So let me see. It says, say goodbye to cheap shopping at Shein, Temu, and Amazon. These companies are preparing to raise prices for the U.S. customers. Let me see. Alright, it's not really much to read. Alright. It says, goodbye your money. Wells Fargo Bank has frozen all these people's accounts for not having. Oh, Slaki, that's something else. Oh. Okay. So right here it says, we have become accustomed to seeing hundreds of Shein and Temu hauls from thousands of influencers on all platforms. We have become accustomed to fast fashion and cheap prices. Shein, Temu, and Amazon haul entered our lives quickly. They offer novelty and a variety at very cheap prices and arriving home quite quickly. But now these platforms that we know until now for being cheap could change forever, and that is because Presidential Donald Trump has closed the trade loophole that allowed packages to arrive in the United States without paying taxes. What is the exception? What is this exception? Chinese companies like Shein and Temu took advantage of a rule called the de minimis exemption, which allowed any order under $800 to enter tax-free. Now, without this benefit, the cost of many items could increase and shipments take longer to arrive at our homes. And both companies have grown thanks to this exception, because you could buy everything from clothing to electronic devices without having to pay extra taxes. Why has the U.S. closed this exception? Many retailers were already against this rule because they felt it gave an unfair advantage to foreign stores. As 2023 to Congress, it was revealed that 30% of packages entering the country came from China, therefore did not pay the relevant taxes. But that's not all. To top it off, Trump also implemented new trade strategies, adding tariffs to 10% on China and 25% on Mexico and Canada. How does this affect these companies? Well, obviously, being the kings of bargains, this is going to be a hard blow. Juozas Kazikines, CEO of Marketplace Pulse, has confirmed that precisely the elimination of this tariff was key for these companies to offer low prices and fast shipping. Now, with the change of regulation, the profit margin of these companies will be reduced and will probably end up affecting buyers in the form of much higher prices. Aaron Rubin, CEO of Ship Hero, points out that the elimination of this exemption could cut Shein and Temu's margins by 5 percentage points. And that's even though these companies already operate with very low margins of between 10 and 15%. Will Amazon also be affected? Amazon could also experience some changes to its Amazon Haul service, one of the main competitors of Shein and Temu in the ultra cheap product segment. But the impact on Amazon will be less because it does have a more diversified structure, and they are lucky that on its website you can find the same products just at higher prices. On the other hand, Gil Luria, an analyst at D.A. Davidson, believes that Amazon could benefit indirectly if Shein and Temu lose competitiveness. Amazon could gain customers who are looking for products at affordable prices, but with a greater guarantee of delivery. Explain. What can we do, as consumers? We will have to figure out how to take advantage of discounts within the platform or look for alternatives on other websites that offer similar products or even buy in larger volumes. To be able to reduce shipping costs, but we will have to see how all of this develops to know what options buyers also have. Because let's be honest, buying from one of these websites is almost a sport. We love filling our shopping cart with things we don't really need just because they're cheap. But now everything's going to change, and with these changes, it may not be so profitable to buy clothes at such cheap prices. What's left for us? Look for local alternatives. Amazon, which is going to win from all of this, or change our shopping habits. Do we really need to buy everything? For now, we can only hope that these two companies have an ace up their sleeve that allows us to continue buying clothes and absurd objects without spending a lot of money. So yeah, that's it on that. Without further ado, I'll bring out some scriptures and we'll make this lesson edifying. Alright, so it says in Revelation chapter 6, start at verse 5. It says, "And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he sat on him. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand." And that pair of balances, of course, goes into judgment. And verse 6 says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." So of course this is going into what you would call hyperinflation. So, and brothers deal with that topic when it's regarding food prices going high. But when you look at it in general, the CPI is increasing when it's coming to the cost of goods, and CPI would stand for Consumer Price Index, and that's increasing with everything that you buy in your local stores, things that you buy online, and so on and so forth. And it's even gotten to the point where now, because Trump is doing this whole trade wars, and he's putting certain laws into effect, and he's signing so many executive orders, he's affecting shipment of goods now, to the point where people who have a thing where they do this drop shipping, or they do arbitraging from stores, things of that nature, now it's they're gonna have a hard time to making more profit. And this is the reason why it's good to always do different forms of businesses and try to learn how to pretty much broaden your opportunities in a sense, so that you don't really rely on one stream of income. It does take a lot of discipline to try to learn how to get your income coming from different areas, not only just from one hustle. But what I'm trying to say for the most part is that It's gonna be a thing very soon where a lot of people that do these little small businesses, a lot of these new companies that have pretty much started off, with drop shipping and all that shit, a lot of them are gonna pretty much fall, because when you have a dumbass president like Trump, imposing sanctions and doing trade wars and things of that nature, it's gonna affect the the businesses that happen to get their products from different countries, and now they gotta pay more for the shipping fees, and then eventually that's gonna make the prices of their products to go up, and then at some point the consumers are gonna be affected, and they may not pretty much buy as much. And bring out this last precept because I want to make this lesson long, just straight to the point. And this is in Habakkuk chapter 2. Let me see, Habakkuk 2, start at verse 5. It says, "Yeah, also because he transcribeth wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. He cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunt a proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." Right, because the thing about this society is that, like, it's already, pretty much, like, struggling on a financial aspect. When you look at the economy is pretty much doing bad, and then you have it to where, Trump is having more, financial issues to be pretty much, occurring in people's lives. People already got to deal with so much debt in their personal life, and they're already not making much from what they're working for. And you mean to tell me now you're trying to fuck with different countries, trade, and trying to go as far as like causing trade wars to where now it's more expensive to get the products from a different country, so now people rather just shop locally, and just rely on companies in the US instead of overseas. The one thing about America's a number one important country out of all the countries, so this could very well lead to less shipments, and not only less shipments, but it could even lead to a lot of people losing their jobs, because companies gonna realize that if there's less customers buying products, that's gonna be pretty much like no point in having a certain amount of employees, working within a company. So they might as well just let some people go, just to cover themselves financially. And with that being said, you have a thing where people tend to like to buy a lot of things just sometimes just to satisfy their stress, that they deal with in their day-to-day life, especially the stress that they deal with at work, in the outside of their home. And with all these problems that goes on in people's life, you got a lot of people that come home with issues. So it's almost like, now people have a thing where, they got like a shopping therapy type of thing, especially women, because women love to buy a lot of products. And you see, when you affect with these people in a sense of like trying to stop what comforts them the most, trying to put like, let's say, certain restrictions on it, or you put certain limits to what they usually do, and because they don't got the money like that anymore, they can't really do it for their mental health. This could be a way of people, this could be a turning point in causing people to crashing out, because in a way, like I said, when you affect with whatever, keeps these people sane, you cause certain limits to it, or you pretty much all in all take it away from them, they're gonna find a way to get back that comfort that they once had. It's almost like taking crack from a crackhead. So, yeah. One last point I'm gonna mention is that, Esau, you should just already come in with this new world order and just get this shit over with already, because it's just like you delaying shit. You pretty much causing us to suffer. You going as far as like just deciding to do some bad shit and then deciding to do some things that may look like it's good for us, when it's actually just for you to gain, our trust in you. And of course, the elect ain't gonna fall to the trap. Only the 2/3 are, and these other people, for the most part, like, you should already just bring about your new world order and just get it over with, instead of being a bitch and trying to play games and doing one thing and then the next, and then trying to be unpredictable with whatever your next move is. We already know the prophecy. Just come out with it. You feel me? We already know your agenda. Like scripture said, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We may not know how you're going to do certain things or how it's going to play out, but we all know what it's ultimately leading up to. So you might as well just come clean with it. Because the sooner you act on it is the better. The sooner we could get the fuck out this bitch, and then ultimately have your ass in captivity where you fucking belong. So, that being said, let's say call on Allah, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahshua, Bashim, Kakadash, the bonus to the pause elsewhere. Most on peace, I teach and hope for elect. Shalom.